All right, hi everyone. I'm just going to give you a quick update on things because there's been a few structural changes happening behind the scenes. So first of all, in terms of projects and stuff, as you may know, BioGen V10 is now in pre-release for the patrons. That'll be released to the public on Superhive and Gumroad when it's ready, and GitHub. The 5.0 update for Hexscatter is currently paused because we're still waiting for Azzy to do their part on it, but I can continue doing some texture stuff in the meantime. I have been transitioning workflows. I've been learning plasticity because I need it for some future projects. There are a lot of things about plasticity that I actually really don't like, and some things that I really do like. So for those of you that don't know, it's kind of like a pseudo CAD modeling software. It's sort of somewhere in between Blender and full-on CAD software, but it allows for, nice creative hard surface modeling and even organic surfacing, and things like booleans really aren't a problem, and it's great for resolving different geometric issues. And with the Blender Bridge add-on, you can kind of connect what you're working on straight to Blender. So having both of them open at the same time has been really powerful because I now no longer see a reason for doing traditional hard surface modeling in Blender. Plasticity is kind of superior for that. However, there are caveats to that because, when it comes to the kind of geometric topology of things, sometimes you just need the absolute precision that you'll get from, building triangles and quads in Blender directly from scratch. In plasticity, you have to rely on the conversion afterwards. So it's been interesting experimenting with that. My printer is not very well calibrated, but this was like a little test object I did that we could see these spherical cutouts in there as well, just kind of testing. Got Holt written on there as well. So yeah, it's been cool. Thinking about the 3D printer, I needed to repair it recently because I got filament kind of stuck in where the gear feeds the filament through because I was running PVA filament through too hot for too long, and it kind of got snapped off and stuck in there. So I had help from Tech, otherwise known as Dan, who is a moderator on our Discord server as well. I've also been migrating my video workflow from Adobe to DaVinci Resolve, which I've been avoiding doing for a while because I really don't like the Resolve interface at all. I like things being extremely minimal while still presenting a lot of information. So what I mean is I like lists of information, and I like that to be kind of modular and adaptable. In Premiere, you can undock anything and put it anywhere else. You can't do that in Resolve. You have some control over the UI, but otherwise it's kind of very limited and ungainly, and we're spoiled with Blender, being able to subdivide things however we like. So we're moving to softwares with much more limited UIs. It does feel quite claustrophobic sometimes. So now that my annual plan for Adobe Premiere was ending, I was like, aha, this is the chance to back out. Well, I don't have to pay a cancellation fee because of that stupid thing. I know there are ways around it. And I was like, since I picked up DaVinci Resolve Studio recently, today's the day to convert the pipeline. So from now on, we're going to be using Resolve exclusively, probably. Although I may need help with other software because I also used Media Encoder for stripping audio from video files. But, I can write a script for that anyway. There are just some small things I need to figure out. Other things have been worked on as well. So one thing that I have not really mentioned is I'm working on a little creative agency system. What I mean by that is, in the past, I have gotten work for friends, as in I've mentioned them on the channel, people have found them through the channel, and they've obtained freelance work. This has happened more than once. And there was a bit of a running joke about how I'm much better at making other people money than making money myself. So we started thinking, well, why not do that professionally? So I've been writing up this system and talking to other creatives about doing this in a more professional way, where I act as a creative agent for some people in the community to help bring them work. So we're discussing it. We're kind of drafting things up. I'll talk a bit more about that when it's available, but there might be the opportunity for people to apply to that system as well. But we're currently just testing and seeing what works and what doesn't. I was also planning on maybe changing the format of content on this channel. As you know, over time, we've been focusing more on Patreon and product type stuff, which has been a kind of natural progression, right, for evolving my work, my business side of things. I know that as a result of that, people are somewhat disappointed at the lack of regular tutorial content. I do have overflow channels for that, like Blender Holt, but we don't really put much stuff out on there. But I was talking to someone about the idea of doing more premium type tutorials again, give more back to the patrons. Or if the Patreon fund ever got large enough as well, I could allocate a certain amount of that to doing regular tutorial videos again. But we're not there at the moment. Also, another project that was on the roadmap for the Patreon fund was the free sample of Afterglow, which I mentioned recently. That's still there, that's still hovering around. But since the overtime now is so large, given the BioGen V10 release, I don't know whether to continue working on that free sample for Afterglow now or wait until it's paid for a bit more before working on it. So if you want to help try and clear that fund, then codicil.online/Patreon will give you more information. Speaking of which, I've condensed that page as well to make it a bit more informative and a bit shorter as well. I like condensing things when I can. A new email has been set up for service-related requests because we're rebuilding the services page on the website. You can't see it yet, but when it's ready, it'll be quite professional, very nice, and that should include the creative agency idea along with my own things. I'm also hopefully planning to make a free project page on the website as well, which will include every free thing we've published potentially a roadmap for future things as well, but we'll see. Because one thing I noticed about websites of other companies and people that produce resources is they oftentimes have a free page where it's like a nice landing page for people that don't have any money, but they can see everything they can download and play with. And I've got a lot of loose free stuff around, so it might be nice to do a directory like that for people to see. So back onto the matter of slightly changing the format of content on this channel, I wanted to aim for something that's more consistent, less styled, and more objective, reporting what new stuff is available for people, making it maybe slightly less personal and moving more personal communications to the Code Studio channel. But the reason being that I don't really want to waste your time, maybe even with videos like this. Maybe this is acceptable. Maybe you like hearing about updates, I don't know. But it would be nice to give this main channel like a consistent quality feeling, very direct, more professional, less blabbering, saying, hey, this is what's new for you. This is what's new in the community. Get it here, learn this, have fun, see you next time. Which is why I was setting up like the neutral black space in the studio there, right? So we did 1 or 2 videos recently kind of testing an early setup for that style. I didn't quite like everything, but it was like a test. Now there is another channel being worked on for higher grade projects that will feed into everything. So to kind of keep that simple, there's a channel that's being worked on that will produce content for everyone that will be higher quality than any other channel I've had so far, which is partly why I've been learning new softwares as well, and even getting back into music. I've been playing some music for a select few people in the evenings because I'm not half bad on the piano, but there's basically quite a lot happening behind the scenes getting ready for new stuff. So if there's quiet on this channel, it definitely doesn't mean that nothing's happening. It means that we're kind of like shifting things around like a chess piece before getting back into like more visible production. Sharon and I will also be working on paid packs for Geometry Nodes content, which will also double up as bi-gen content packs. We also wanted to do it in a way where these could act as asset libraries and content packs for the add-on, so it would be completely optional to use the add-on, but also in a way where it would be nice for people to learn from the Geometry Nodes content educationally. Also, CG Matter has released a new Geometry Nodes course. I told him I was going to do a video talking about it. I haven't quite sat down to make notes about it yet, but I'll put an affiliate link in the description. I actually need to watch it myself to learn from it as well. Behind the scenes, a bunch of us in the friend group have been learning to build Blender and start modifying the code a little bit. I'm slacking a bit on that, but we're trying to like catch up with people like Ben, Cartesian, Caramel, and that we're trying to be a bit more responsible in understanding like the code base of Blender and then maybe thinking about contributing in the more longer term future. On a more personal level, well, first of all, I should be at the Blender conference this year. I say should be. It's been a few years since I was there last because I've skipped out in the last couple of years. But we'll see. I'm planning to be there this year. I haven't figured it all out yet. Also, university is still going on. I've been talking to some scientist friends about exactly what direction I want to take. I may or may not complete the full 3 years of uni because I may or may not need the full 3 years of uni for things that I want to achieve. And anything that's missing, I have ways of supplementing that knowledge in more productive and rewarding ways. If you don't know, I'm currently working on a biomedical sciences degree, but there are specific things I want to kind of do with that. Medical wise, there are things I've talked about on video in the past and things I haven't. Things that I have talked about: balance issues under control, chronic eye pain, nerve issues under control, subjective breathing issues post-COVID vaccine, still working on. Not great, but also not terrible. Work in progress. And I had a weird situation over the last few days where I suddenly lost hearing in my right ear, more specifically low frequencies. It was a bit freaky. We're trying to figure out whether it was like a middle ear thing or something that would be more scary is the sudden sensory neural hearing loss, which is an emergency, but it seems like it's coming back. So that's a good sign, but it is quite freaky to like suddenly for no reason with no pain, like no other signs whatsoever, just to suddenly lose a chunk of your hearing. But like I said, the trend is good at the moment. Some people, for the people that do have this SSHL or SSNHL, can just like lose their hearing in one ear entirely over the course of a few days. It's quite terrifying, but thankfully it looks like I'm probably not that, which is great. I was doing tests all day like, why am I losing frequencies? It just doesn't make any sense. Oh, what else? My PureF wiki system, which is like a local wiki system for the studio where I keep all my project stuff, still working on it, bringing in like all the information I have over the years. I've been building like a cloud roadmap system where I'm trying to encourage myself to go back to old projects and old products that you have purchased, depending on who's listening, to chip away and add things for everyone without making it such a big deal cognitively. You may have also noticed over the last couple of months or something that I've been been putting out a lot of shorts on YouTube, on the socials, etc. That has had a really positive benefit on the social platforms because I figured out a technique for doing that. Even if it seems a bit spammy on YouTube, there are little things like that have been changing that make communicating with people a bit more effective online. You know, typically when becoming a content creator, you learn quite quickly that platforms are designed to try and make you work for them, but you have to adapt your workflow to make the platforms work for you. You know, you've got to make sure it knows its place. And part of that means not relying on one platform for getting information out. For example, if I'm doing an update for a product or a free project or anything else, how do you get people to know about that? Oftentimes the people that are subscribed to this channel to get those updates don't even see them because it's not recommended to them. So to actually get this information to them, I kind of take the shotgun approach of just scattering the same information to a wider range of places. And that does work more effectively. However, I will say if you want to stay updated on project updates, then you can sign up to the Patreon for free. I try not to spam you. I do like once monthly roundups of everything that's happened during the month. And occasionally, if it's relevant, some extra like high level emails just saying, hey, this big project is now available. But I won't spam you. So I do recommend you sign up for free if you can. Also, we do have a Discord server you can sign up to. And I ping everyone when a new video goes out. That's able to be found through curtisholt.online/links. You'll find a link to the Discord server. So this is just a quick update to keep you in the loop. Hope you're doing well. Oh, my birthday's coming up soon. I'm going to be 30. Yay. Now, to be fair, I was not looking forward to it for a while, but now I'm actually kind of excited to be 30. I feel like 30 is probably like the most, or I know that everyone at a different age is going to see their own age as a bias, but I feel like 30 is a really powerful age. Like it's kind of at this point in time where like youth and responsibility kind of overlap in certain ways. You know what I mean? So in some ways I was scared about it a little bit, but now I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. So yeah, I won't tell you exactly when my birthday is, but it's coming up. Or maybe I will tell you. Maybe I'll do a sale or something. Who knows? Anyway, if you made it this far through the video, put a paper-related emoji in the comments. If you're on Windows, you can press the Windows key and the period key to open an emoji keyboard. Just a little tip for you. Stay safe. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you next time.